Hello everyone, you're welcome to my channel. I am Dr. Eukarya, and in this video I'll be discussing on a topic titled how to manage the life cycle of your product. Just like an individual, we are human and we have a life cycle from the day you were born and the day you're no more on this planet Earth. Products as well have the same life cycle. For example, you might want to ask, what is product life cycle? Product life cycle are the stages an individual product will pass through until it is no more in the marketplace. A product life cycle are the different areas or stages that a product will go through from its inception up until when it is no more or no longer in the market. So I decided to share this topic because we have a lot of business persons, business owners, entrepreneurs, self-employers, and the rest of them. Yes, some of them have been in business for a long time, but there are things about these product life cycles that they are not aware. And the second people that this video is also meant for is those in the field of marketing and also the upcoming business owners, the upcoming entrepreneurs. Why I decided to share on this topic is because you need to know, you need to be aware of the different stages that your product will pass through until it gets to the end or the extinction of that your product. Most business persons are not aware. They are not aware what is expected at the introductory stage of your product. They are not aware of what happens at the growth stage of your product, and so on and so forth. So that's why I decided to share on this topic, so that you're going to learn and also be conscious of all of these stages of your product. So the first stage of the product life cycle is the introduction or the introductory stage. At this stage, it is when your product is newly introduced into the market. There is no product on earth you will tell me that did not start in a day. That product started one day and you launched it into the market. You introduced it into the market. You sent it into the market for people to buy. And one thing you should know about this stage is that this is a new product you are launching into the market. At the introductory stage, people don't know about your product. Even if they do, you just have a limited number that are aware of your product. So at this point, your product is new, people are not all that aware of your product, and at this stage, sales will always be low. So you need to have that at the back of your mind. Because your product is newly introduced to the market, the sales will always be low. You see some persons at the first year of introducing their products or services into the market, and because the sales are low, you see them getting frustrated, getting panicking because they are not seeing the sales they expected. It is normal that in the first stage of introducing your product in the market, sales will always be low. So have that at the back of your mind. There's nothing wrong with your product, there's nothing wrong with your business, there's nothing wrong with your services. It is normal that your product will always, that at that stage sales will be low. It's okay. It's okay. The second stage of the product life cycle is the growth stage. And at this stage, maybe your product, let's say, has gone beyond a year or 2 or 3 or thereabouts. People are getting to know your product. The market is conversant with your product. They are used to your product. They have used your product. They have seen the performance of your product. They have seen what your product can do. At this point, sales will grow. Your product will be in a lot of persons' houses, shops, outlets, and the rest of them, because at this point, they now know your product. Your sales will increase. Your product will increase. Your customer base will increase. Your market share will increase. Your profit level will as well increase, because this is the growth stage. At this stage, you don't even need to do more of advert compared to the introductory stage. At the introductory stage, at that point, your product is still new in the market, so you need to do a lot of advert to create awareness about your product. But at the growth stage, you don't even need more of advert, because at this point your product sells for itself, because customers have tried the product and the product gave them what was expected. So at this point, sales will be booming. You don't need to do much and people will just be buying your product. This is the stage where a lot of us like. This is where everybody strives to be. Every business owner strives to be. No problem about that. All right, the third stage in the product life cycle is the maturity stage. In the maturity stage, your product is at the peak. The product life cycle goes like, an upward hill until it gets to the decline hill. So at the middle here is where you have the maturity stage, because your product at this point is at the peak in the market. People are aware of the product. People are talking about it. They have used it. It is in everywhere in the market. Competitors are there battling with you, battling with your product, So at this point, you don't need to go to sleep. You have a lot of work to do, because now you have competitors trying to, compete with you and the rest. So at this point, you try as much as you can. Because at that maturity stage, you know what happens as an individual when you are mature, let's say as from 50, 60 years, what happens to you as an individual when you find yourself being at the age of 50, 60 and there or 70. So at this stage, you need to work hard, because your product, once it crosses the maturity stage, the next stage is the decline stage. So you don't need to go and sleep, because anything that happens, if you don't manage it well at the maturity stage and it crosses down to the decline stage, that's the end of your product. So at this point, as a business owner, try as much as you can to do more of advert, product development, and all whatnot to ensure your product remains where it is. Do not allow it to get to the decline stage. The final stage is the decline stage. Yes, at that maturity stage, you must have done everything to keep your product at that level for a very long time, if not for a lifetime. But you have done all of that, and at the end of the day, your product still got to the decline stage. It's not a problem. It's nothing to panic. Yes, your product have gotten to the decline stage, which is the last stage. And when we say decline, the product is no more in the market. The product is almost gone out of the marketplace. It's still not a time to give up on that product. What do? This is an additional thing you should do when you find your product at the decline stage. You need to come up with reintroducing that product into the market by doing maybe product development, rebranding, repackaging, coming up with new innovations and creativity that to relaunch the product into the market. And sometimes the product has already died, but because you repackaged it, you remodified that product, the product comes up as a new product and it is being introduced back into the market, and you are still in business. You are still in business. So don't panic whenever you find out that your product is no more relevant in the marketplace. Come up with strategies, come up with innovations, come up with creativities to repackage, increase the quality, come up with different things that will make your product get back to where it is. And what do? You relaunch it back to the market, and you see that your product, yes, was no more, but because of the strategies you put in place to revive that product, the product comes back alive. So as a business owner, always know that every new product will pass through the introductory stage and pass through this other stage, just like as an individual. So if your product gets to the end of the road, it's still not enough to give up. repackage that product and reintroduce it into the marketplace. I hope you learned something in this video, and if you do not forget to hit on the subscribe button, like the video, drop your comments in the comment section, and we'll answer all the questions. If you have any questions you need to ask, drop them at the comment section. Until I see you on my next video, do have a lovely day. Bye.